One, I think our recording for this week is going to be kind of odd, so bear with me for today. I'm gonna have a couple other hands up. Bailey, Thomas, and Jacob, anything to report out, like how you spent your time, or actually, this is.
I went through all the writing project options to see which one I liked the best. So I was reading like all the examples for each one.
Okay. Did you find one?
Yeah, I picked
4
project 2.
for chapter 4. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm actually, hopefully this will be our last week of getting oriented, and so now you know that our goal for next week is going to be Thursday is going to be our day to talk about. That means you need to have completed some, or at least gotten started on a project for chapter 5. So you will let me know what project by posting, next week Tuesday when the week becomes available. Your homework will be post in the discussion board area what project you're going to talk about, so that when we get into these groups, the majority of people, the goal is that everyone will have completed a project or at least gotten started on it, so that you have something to take away. So with that, I think I'm still going to have some eclectic groups because I had 7 people who I did not have groups for. So right now, I had a lot of people doing project 1. So I put you all into 2 different groups because there were just so many of you opting for that. So I just wanted that group to be smaller than 7 people for this time we have. And let's see, do I need, got her. So you may have a couple of people just join your group as I add the people that I didn't have going in. So I'm gonna go ahead and move you into groups. If you don't have a group, that's because I'm still looking at your responses during the chat area. But it looks like this time again is, remember, sharing what you did for that project and trying to learn from each other, like the different approaches, especially if you're in a group where everyone did the same writing project for the chapter. You have, how much time do we have for this? 15 minutes or so? Let me see my Blackboard, which is, there it is. Okay. And when you're in these small groups, you should have access to share screen. So again, depending on how much work someone has done, you just figure it out how you want to share. And remember, we need someone to do a short report out. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words in this mask. So when we come back together, you will have your hands up, have some sort of report out, and hopefully this will just start to get smoother as we go along. So it looks like we'll come back together at 2:10. We might come back at 2:15, so I'll give you a little more time. So let me set my timer here and send you into groups. And then my other people who just let me know in the private chats, I will have to add you after I get those other groups started. What? Guess what? It took away all my groups. Oh my gosh, this is horrible.
I can imagine people thinking you're crazy because you're just in a public place just appearing to talk to yourself.
Well, like I said, the connection did something weird and it stopped my recording. So I know I lost that. But apparently I lost all my pre-made groups that I spent time putting together. So, all right, so you all just wait for your invitations because I literally have to remake these groups. And we are going to do that. So our report out time, we're gonna start groups at 2:05. So we don't normally get a break, but it's 1:58. I'm going to remake these groups. We're going to go from 205 to 220. So give me a moment. I'm going to take myself off of camera to do this because I'm exasperated and I don't want you to just be able to see this. So just watch for your group invitations as I remake these groups. Okay, everyone should be getting invitations except for Jesusa and Hannah. I still don't know which which options you selected. For some reason, I can't find it. Luke, you should have gotten a invitation. So I'm going to make it so that you can unmute yourselves so that you can tell me what you are, where you should be. I don't know why you didn't get an invite. I'm having a problem. Okay, I'm unmuting you. Hannah, where should you go? And Luke, what was your choice? Hannah,
I think mine was choice 2.
Choice 2. All right, so I'm going to move you. That group has 2 and 3. So let me add you to. Oh, there. Come on. All right, so you should get an invite now. Jesusa, what was yours?
For chapter 4?
Yes.
I still haven't looked at the options. Could you give me like 5 minutes or 3 so I can look over the options?
Yeah. I mean, that's because they're only going to be in these groups for like 12 more minutes. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are the groups where you should be talking about what you did. And I know this is our last week of just trying to get this stuff worked out. I mean, literally, I could just put you in one of the eclectic groups. I have a group that they're looking at options 2 and 3, and I have a group that 2 people in it that they did options 7 and 8.
Mm.
Because not all the options have people in them, and that's why I have some groups that have people talking about different ones in the same group, if that makes sense.
I think I'll do 6.
Okay, I'm gonna put you in that group. And then this way you can at least hear what they've done. All right, there you go.
Okay.
You should see an invite. I just want to say that I'm just happy that the technical issues that I experienced today were just mainly on my end and not everyone's. And I'm looking forward to Tuesday because I expect improvement in just stuff working a little more smoothly. This time I had the opportunity to spend a few minutes in one of the groups. So as you can see, hopefully you see that knowing ahead of time what project you're going to work on will help this process. Even if I stumble and have to redo the groups, it's a lot faster if we know ahead of time. So some of you, about 5 of you were in eclectic groups, and an eclectic group is a group where I have someone who selected a project and they're like the only person who selected that project. And so I put those groups together, I put those individuals together. And when I do that, those are the groups I tend to go and visit before I go and visit groups where you're all talking about the same project. So that's how I prioritize where I go. And so when you're in those groups, especially the eclectic ones, if you have the time, you should always have your book near you so you can figure out, see what they are responding to, or you can pull up the discussion board because I've copied and pasted the question or the prompt there. So let's report out. And as we're reporting out, this is also the time where you can go ahead and also put in your exit comment. So Bailey, your hand isn't up, so I won't pick on you. But let's see. You can, I'm just gonna call a name and then you can unmute yourself. So Thomas B, you don't have to talk, Thomas, but I'm calling on your group. So
That was me. I was
Okay.
decided to be the speaker.
okay.
We had number 6, which was picking images about somebody you love, and I forgot like the rest of it, but basically picking images of someone you love and painting what's going on in the image for the reader without being. We kind of decided that we didn't want to be too. We wanted to remain neutral because it said avoid thoughts, like your personal thoughts. So we all just, talked about, who we picked, like some of the images, like who we decided to talk about. Like I decided to talk about my mom. Macy talked about her sister. So yeah, we just talked about like what the pictures told as far as the story.
Okay. All right. If your group is good, you can put hands down and someone else can unmute. Anybody.
Hey, so I was in a group with Katie. We both had 7 and 8 respectively. Project 7 was about explaining the story of my life through smell. And I'm not technically allowed to talk about it according to the rules allowed in your text there, but it was actually kind of difficult for me, and we spoke about this for a moment, because I realized I was starting to reuse a lot of the same sensory words because of just how my life has been and how my jobs have been in the past. They've all been in the same industry, so they've all been very similar as far as like scent goes. But Katie spoke about how she has to have all 5 emotions, or senses in her writing, and how it's going to be potentially difficult to write about all 5 in her work in the future.
Well, to be honest, it wasn't like it said I had to have all 5 senses. It just says that could be a good starter, but it's more about writing a monologue about an encounter with a stranger, kind of like where there's with that one woman, Jennifer Hickson wrote.
Well, I did interrupt you, and I'm just gonna have to end class very abruptly because I really need to honor your time, and it is 2:30.
I'm free.
So, given that, please make sure you put. I know all the groups didn't go, but I'm glad you did get a chance to talk in your individual groups. And that's happened to us this time. I do have office hours, but do not leave before you put in your exit comment. And yeah, this is happening this time. So I want to honor your time and not hold you past class.
I'm free.
Yeah, so our recap basically is we're going to repeat this next week. We're going to come to class. I probably have a mini lesson. We'll keep working towards it.
Oh, how was that the baby?
And you are now free to mute or unmute yourself because I